Welcome back to ESBR Boxing's YouTube channel. Delighted as always to be joined by Paul Kelly. We have just seen Owen Cooper defeat Chris Congo in what's considered an upset to get us going in Nottingham tonight. Paul, good to be joined by you as always. Just the one judge's scorecard there, 96-94 to Owen Cooper in what was a good fight. Well, I think one of them kind of must start off with it was a good fight. We don't always get good fights on undercards in this country, and an upset as well. Give us your instant reaction to what we've just seen, please.
Yeah, mate, I think I enjoyed the fight as well. Echo your
Mm.
sentiments there. Think I think it was very competitive as well. I do think in a sense of if you look at the fight as a whole, it was competitive. I'm sure we'll maybe come on to the scorecard or whatever, but it was a real fight of two halves, wasn't it? I think after 4 or 5 rounds, I text you saying, "Well, it's Chris Congo's coasting basically," and then it was literally almost as if I give him the kiss of death because as soon as that, as from sixth round onwards, it was more or less all of one Cooper. I think it really was a fight of two halves. So in terms of that, yeah, I enjoyed it. You kind of the few questions as to why maybe Congo wasn't so good down the stretch. Owen Cooper looked strong, physically strong and fit down the stretch. So he's maybe thinking, it would have been. I know he got the job done, but is he sitting thinking, oh, why didn't I start a little bit earlier? Because he made the fight look easy in the second half, really. So yeah, it was the one I enjoyed, mate. Definitely, as you said, no, we don't always get really good fights kicking off the broadcast, but that was definitely one.
Yeah, for sure. I think that if your scorecard was first 5 rounds to Congo, second half the fight to Cooper, I think that would have been fine, which would have been a strange scorecard on paper, but I just think that did possibly happen with some people's scorecards. The referee and the judge did have it 96-94. Paul, how how did you have it? Did you agree that Cooper kind of was the one, if there was going to be a winner, it was going to be Cooper tonight? How did you see things when it came to an end?
Yeah, see, isn't it? Didn't I text you? I said, is it 5-0 or it's 5-0 or 4-1 to Congo here, and that was after 5 rounds. So suppose, I mean, that in the end that makes a big difference, really, to the scorecard, doesn't it? Because I did give Owen Cooper six onwards.
Yeah.
So if I was 4-1, then that's exactly bang on 96-94. If it was a 5-0, I'm trying to remember which round it was where I thought, will Owen Cooper, would I give him that round? Or did he just do better than the other rounds? I can't exactly remember. But I think it's quite telling that in Chris Congo's corner, like going into the final round, it basically said, right, what are you doing? Do you want this? Can you do this for me? And like Chris Congo at the end, when he kind of, there was no complaints. He almost knew that
Mhm.
to me anyway, it looked like he knew he maybe hadn't done enough. And yes, I know every individual round is scored, it's scored individually, and you don't have like momentum, so to speak. That doesn't really matter, but it kind of does as well. So like Owen Cooper finished the fight and he arguably won the last 5 rounds. All of the momentum was with him. So you're watching that thinking, Flip Owen Cooper's making this look easy, almost forgetting the first half. So I think, yeah, maybe I could have given it 95-95, but if there was a winner, I think it was definitely Owen Cooper.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I think that it was one of those fights where whoever won the last 2 rounds was going to win. And it kind of, in some ways, not in always, but in some ways, reminded me of when Chris Congo lost to Echo Esserman, which was over 12 rounds. And I remember that fight at the end of round 9. I think it was quite clear that Chris Congo was winning the fight. And then Echo Esserman arguably won the last 3 rounds and then therefore won the fight. Tonight, Owen Cooper arguably, probably won the last 2 rounds and then won the fight. That's the second time that's happened in Chris Congo's career, where the last couple of rounds he's lost and forfeited the entire fight. What what happened to Chris Congo, Paul? Because as you said, arguably 5-0 up at the end of 5 rounds, 4-1 up, was definitely winning the fight. I think at the end of the fifth round, you would have got some pretty good in play odds for Owen Cooper to win the fight on points. Was it stamina? Did he kind of just take his foot off the pedal? What do you think happened there?
Yeah, it's really interesting. I mean, I know Barry Jones on commentary made a good point. Is like every fighter gets tired, but when Chris Congo gets tired, he's not hiding it. You can tell he's tired, breathing with the mouth open, not moving his feet as much. He's visibly tired. So whether that spurs Cooper on and kind of gives him a new lease of life, that could be a factor. And to be honest, mate, I was just kind of thinking there as well. Another thing that I think is, yes, he's had those fights recently, but almost ring rust. Like it's two fights since the Marku fight. Like
Yeah.
he beat Florian Marku, and you thought, right, brilliant, you're going to kick on now. That was
Mm.
a big win at the time with the kind of trajectory Marku was on and the hype. And then he's had what, two 6 rounders on Riyadh season weigh-in shows or during the week. Um, and yeah, he probably got paid very well for them and what have you. But was that great preparation for then, fight against someone who's 8 years younger than you and Owen Cooper and who's clearly, looking to move up those levels through to the British and beyond. Maybe not ideal preparation. I don't think that maybe helped him down the stretch as well. But I think maybe was it a stamina issue or just lack of concentration? But I definitely think that tiredness played a part there as well. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's a shame with Chris Kongo because he's clearly got ability. And I just think thinking about it, and sometimes when you see the fight and then I have one of these videos with you, Paul, where you digest things and you think about things a bit more. I can't help but think that's a very damaging loss for Chris Kongo if you consider he's not connected to a main promoter and now he's coming off a loss. He's 32 now as well, not a young fighter anymore. I'm interested to see where he goes from here, and I think it's a big shame because I think he's got a lot of ability and he was touted for bigger things than what he has achieved in his career. Final question from me, Paul. You mentioned then the Florian Marku fight from last year. Um, I know you famously backed Chris Kongo to beat Florian Marku last year, and you were correct. Can you see that rematch happening? Because Chris Kongo now, I'm sure, is desperate to get back into a big fight and prove he's got this left, got that left. Marku, we hasn't fought since then, since March of last year. We're not sure what's happening with him. It's all gone quite quiet. It's the only loss on his career as well. Is that a rematch? Is that a fight you can see happening? Is that a fight you would want to see, Paul?
Yeah, I think it's one of those where, despite winning the first fight against Marku, that's a fight that, after losing that fight to Owen Cooper, I think Chris Kongo would have to snatch that fight
Mm.
opportunity with both hands because Marku is still a name, he's still a draw. Um, and yeah, obviously, if you're a Florian Marku, you're thinking, I just watched Owen Cooper beat him. I could do that? Like, I feel like I can beat him now. But if you're Chris Kongo, you're like, yeah, beat him once, beat him before, and I don't think he's put it this way. I don't think he's going to be I don't think he's going to be have the luxury of having loads of options, Chris Congo, as you said, unless he steps down another level, which you really don't want to do at this stage of your career. So for me, yes, it probably does make sense. Rematch for with Chris Congo, which is strange because yeah, I thought he beat Florian Marku quite well, but as you said, who knows if that will happen because I haven't heard any rumblings on Marku's return at all.
Yeah, yeah, we'll see. Look, it's just the thought I had, but no, we'll see what happens. As I said, I think this is a big loss for Chris Congo, but yeah, interested to see what happens for Owen Cooper next. There's piles of domestic names at welterweight, so I'm not going to kind of throw them at you, Paul, because I feel like there's so many fights out there. You'd hope potentially for Owen Cooper next, but we'll see. He's beaten Chris Congo tonight, which is the best victory of his career. Paul, good to be joined by you as always. Thank you for your time, and I'll speak to you again soon.
Cheers, mate. All the best.